I'll start with Mr. Ashok. Do you agree with what the minister is saying? And before you answer that, you've spent decades advocating sustainable development, but looking at climate negotiations today, do developing countries like India feel empowered or pressured?
Well, I think today countries like India are actually the champions, the ones that are driving the agenda and forcing the pace, because they realize that their future is at stake. In fact, their present is at stake. What is going on today as we speak in the Gulf is an indicative of what happens if you do not have a resilient economy. And if your economy is vulnerable to shocks from fossil fuel availability, from materials, from varieties of other things, technology, economic finance particularly, then you will always be at the wrong end. So frankly, if there is a driving force today, it is the developing countries, and if there is a resistance, is there pushback, it's actually from the north. It's the people who started the dialogue, who identified the problem, and then chickened out. So we need to understand that if it were not for countries like India and the African nations who are suffering the most from climate change, it would be, the international dialogue would be much slower at the moment than it is. So I'm glad to say that we are actually playing our role.